This month on HMP, we're covering all the Naked Gun movies, and with last week's movie, now I guess we'll start out where it all started. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Half-Ass Movie Podcast, the show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Fortress, and joining me today, it's the 4th and 15th, and he's looking for a full court press. Sweet Sean Zakovacs from the internet.
Finally, the shining example of a failed sitcom that they moved over to a movie that was wildly successful. Hey, it's your move, Geico cavemen.
Ooh. And about those pictures you saw him in, he just needed to work. Bruce Leslie.
It's like Gary Gnu says, no gnu's is good gnu's.
Isn't it indeed, everybody? So like we said last week, we got to check out that new Naked Gun movie. So this week we're checking out the original Naked Gun movie, The Naked Gun from the Files of the Police Squad. And I'm pretty sure that if you don't say the full name, you get in legal trouble of some sort.
No.
So, I mean, that's just, it's like
ringing. Tell the difference between... It's the only way you can tell the difference between this one and the one made almost 40 years later.
Yeah, the only way. Otherwise, practically identical.
I don't know the law.
Yeah, he's like, listen, I'm no lawman. I don't understand how this works. I just go along with it.
Easy there, lawman.
Now, everybody had these funny jokes about how, like how this compares joke to joke to the movie that we had last week and everything. I think that's going to be an interesting juxtaposition, how we've differed within these 40 years and everything, and see the roots of where all of the jokes from last week came from. But they didn't. I don't feel like they, we'll get into it, but I don't feel like they relied too much, in the new movie about anything from this for the most part, right?
I don't think they recycled.
No.
I don't think they recycled one bit.
Yeah,
had its own flavor.
It was surprising, and it's surprising that we're gonna, cover it yet again. We're gonna cover all of them, everybody, because we're covering this one, the Naked Gun 2.5. The what's it called? I got it written on the thing, but I've forgotten it. I'll know it at the end of the show. Trust me, I wrote it down. But then we're gonna do that and the third one. So listen,
the third one.
Even the third one, everybody, which I've heard conflicting.
Gluttons?
I've heard conflicting things. I've heard some people say, "Oh, the second one is the weaker one, and the third one's better," and I've heard vice versa. So I'm curious. I can't remember the last time I've watched any of the sequels. I've seen this one plenty of times, but sequels. Why would I venture into those what I would imagine to be very murky waters?
And if we're being honest, we only have so many options on OJ Simpson month, so we got to take what we got.
True.
Not enough OJ movies. People been saying it.
And when you're going through Anna Nicole Smith's filmography, you can't just skip over 33 and a third.
No,
right
man.
There.
And there was one, what's it called? I think it's called Skyscraper with her in it. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic in the worst of ways. Her acting is the most wooden you've ever seen. It's the cheapest in the world, where like so many shots are shot like, somebody's sitting in a helicopter and someone's clearly just in the parking lot pointing it up at the sky. It doesn't even look like the blades are running, and you're like, come on, man. You guys are so cheap.
Oh, okay. You just sold me with that. That shot alone makes me want to see this movie.
And she's talking into the thing like she's a professional, helicopter pilot. Hey, we're getting onto the thing. It's a blast.
That's the line between a can-do and a who cares attitude.
Absolutely. But before we get into our review here of the Naked Gun series, we want to remind people that this here show is streaming out on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, and all those fun places. And we'd like you to come in, hang out, and be part of the chat here and everything. One of the dirty babies, as we call them. Show starts around 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on in and hang out with all the other folks in the chat. And if you really like what's going on, why don't you drop us get this. We've revamped, boys. We've revamped. So we still have our Portress Bucks, which are like this.
Portress Bucks.
Now those are for super chats that are over $10, right? But if the super chat is under $10, you get the new jingle.
Portress Petties, watch how they shine.
Now,
wow. I guess it's an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste. So we want you to listen. We want you to donate 10 or more.
That sounds like the record you play in a horror movie to unleash the demon.
Well, that's what. Yeah, unleash the demon of putting some extra change in my pocket. You see that dog back there?
Buddy,
He
it's
needs
the root
to
of
eat.
all evil, people.
And it sounds remarkably like I recorded my part of that on my phone in my car.
With the windows down.
Hold on, my friend. I like quadrupled your voice on this thing. I put a couple of them out of sync, just a tiny little
Sir,
bit there, some nice little echoes.
I am not saying that you are the one at fault here. I am totally taking all the blame. That is all on me.
So what you're saying is you want to hear it again. You got it.
Fortress Petties, watch how they shine.
We'll do a little remix. We'll do
No notes. No notes other than I hope that the old ones forgive me.
I think this is the way to get people to donate to the show is called Let's Embarrass Each Other with
Unleash
money.
another ancient one every time you give us money.
It's like listening to an old Robert Johnson recording.
I want to make it even better than that, though. Like that's my like. I feel like this one's going to evolve because I couldn't quite get it to where I wanted to go. But so that will only get better as time goes on, and you do that by donating by super chatting that in there.
It sounds like if you play it backwards, it would say Estes Kafaver is the devil.
Oh no, that would certainly unleash some sort of unholy demon amongst the world if we play that backwards. So I'm not tempting these sorts of things. That's sometimes you just don't go dipping in that water. Have you ever there are some people that I have met that are like, you know, the most staunch atheists in the world, but sometimes you start messing with that stuff and even they're going like, listen, buddy, I don't believe in none of this, but y'all got to pump them brakes because just in case, let's not. But go check us out on YouTube. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. Thanks for checking out YouTube, everybody. And there we got our Movie Magic Monday, where I'm talking about the special effects in film from like the 90s and stuff like that. We got our TikTok Trash Tuesdays, talking a whole bunch of crap to people on the internet. That's always fun. Then on Thursday, I actually did a spoiler-free review of the new movie Weapons from the director of Barbarian. I will say this, if you liked Barbarian, you're probably going to like this. It's another one of those like, well, I didn't see where this was going the entire time, that's for sure. So go check out that review and everything. And I got to be honest with you, I think horror right now is like one of the most interesting genres that's currently playing new films and stuff like that. It's just, they're trying new stuff. They're doing more interesting things than everybody else. It's just like, What a great time between this and like your Sinners and Bring Her Back and the Final Destination movie was good. Like what a time for horror films 2025 is. So yeah.
They're making new ones, which they're not doing with the other genres.
Yeah, yeah, they decided to go outside the box.
I can't wait to see what Charlie Band gives us this year.
Another gym as usual, I would imagine.
Yeah,
probably
something great.
Of course.
Something with a bong.
I know. I think they like it's sad when they go, no, all of the Evil Bong series is over. It's like, wait a minute, what now? You guys have
you're done with it? Wow.
That's when you know something's run its course. When even Charlie Band's like, listen, we got to hang that up on the rack. That's done.
Once they started legalizing it, it was the end of my franchise.
Yeah, the kids just don't find it edgy enough anymore, so it's just like, it doesn't work. But all that crap can be found over at youtube.com. Hit that like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things. Believe it or not, all of those tiny little bits of stuff make the hugest of difference in the world. So thank you. Thank you for all that. And we're all on Instagram as well. I'm on TikTok and all that crap. Links are for everything are in there. Thank you all so much for doing this. We got like, I didn't tell you boys this, but like, we had like one clip from our review of Fantastic Four, the first steps and everything that got like 200,000, views or something like that.
Wow.
Huge. I mean, like tons and tons of people watched it and liked it and reposted it and all that kind of stuff. And, other things like that. So we're doing fun stuff out there. So go check out all the socials and whatnot, folks. You're going to enjoy it. It's a good time. So let's get into it, fellas. I'm sorry. One more promo, I swear. Patreon.com/HMP. Pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. And of course, Dinger Zone, we'll be doing that at the end of this broadcast. But after this broadcast and everything, it's going to be deleted off there. And if you want to hear that, you got to go over to patreon.com/HMP. Join up at any level and get that pre-show, post-show, and Dinger Zone. Dinger Zone this week, the top 5 sports stars in movies. We got OJ Simpson here in this Naked Gun flick, so we figure, hey, let's go back and check out all of our sports stars in movies because there's been quite the history of sports stars, not only acting in films, but turning into, honest to God, acting careers.
And if you've only recently discovered the show, there is a rich, full back catalog of Dinger Zones there on Patreon.
Unbelievably huge. I mean, somewhere we go through entire, catalogs of movies, all of your Mission Impossible movies, all of your Matrix movies. If you go back years within the Dinger Zone archives, man, the plethora of gold that is back there for your diggins. Go dig, children. Please dig. We appreciate it. Patreon.com/HMP. Let's get into it, gentlemen. Here is the IMDb plot line for The Naked Gun. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Incompetent police detective Frank Drebin must foil an attempt to assassinate Queen Elizabeth II. This is written by Jerry Zucker, Jim Abrams, and David Zucker. Directed by David Zucker, who you'll know from Airplane, Ruthless People, Basketball, My Boss's Daughter. Would you believe Scary Movies 2 and 3 in an uncredited additional scene in Part 5?
Wow.
Good for him.
All true. Couldn't believe it. This is starring Leslie Nielsen, Priscilla Presley, Ricardo Montalban, George Kennedy, OJ Simpson, and the only guy to go through every single Naked Gun movie, Weird Al Yankovic.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was funny, and I'd totally forgotten that was like a through line and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is hilarious that we've got him, 40 years later, and he only looks like he's aged 15 years.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Those vegetarians, man. Or is he a vegan? Is he all the way vegan?
All the way vegan.
My word and mercy.
Credits his hell to the accordion, though. It's good exercise.
Oh, yeah, you're going like this a whole bunch, so those shoulders got to be immaculate, I would imagine. So, boys, The Naked Gun. My guess is you guys, this was like just a staple growing up, I would imagine.
It is one of those movies that I've probably seen close to 100 times, but I've only seen the beginning maybe 5 times, because this was one of those classics. Oh, The Naked Gun is on, and no matter what part of the movie it's in, you would just join and watch, because this was a time when things like movies were broadcast several times a week and you didn't stream them.
Yeah, if this was like TBS, that's like one of those constant ones that you have on there and stuff like that, because it was cheap and easy and connected to Paramount or something like that. So it's like, real quick and easy.
Yeah, it's a movie I've seen a million times as well. I took a first date to this movie. It went well.
Nice. That Leslie Nielsen really gets the ladies going.
That's what it was. That's totally what it was. This is if you were to ask me yesterday, because I've seen this movie a million times, and this is the first time I've noticed this. If you were to ask me yesterday, how percentage-wise, give me a percentage, how much is OJ Simpson in the Naked Gun movie? I would have told you, I don't know, 40%.
Oh, really?
I always kind of have that same thought too. I always think he's in a little bit more than he's in, and then once he falls off, I'll go like, "Oh yeah, that's right. He's only in this for like 10 minutes max."
I remembered him. I remembered him as basically a cameo. Like, I even remembered a full body cast, which he doesn't have, but I thought it was like in my memory a full body cast, so you didn't even see that it was OJ. But yeah, I remembered him being in it less than he was.
I was so surprised when I watched it last night, because I thought to myself, how is that going to translate now that the man is no longer with us? I haven't seen the Naked Gun in total since he had died. And so I was wondering, like there were a couple years there where it was like, I just can't laugh at any of this.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I was wondering, am I going to be able to laugh now? The answer is still no, but there is that moment where Leslie Nielsen's ass is directly in his face. And I thought to myself, did they tell him that was going to happen? Or was that something that they planned on the day? And I'm going to guess that they knew it already. And he just wanted to be an actor so bad that he was like, no, that's fine. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, my nose will be all up in there. Okay, totally fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
I read one opinion piece that said it's okay to laugh at OJ Simpson because all the jokes are at his expense. None of them.
It is true. He is constantly getting hurt. No one's ever really, holding him up as like, a beacon of the police department or anything else like that. He's kind of a screw up.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can laugh and say, "Ha! Look at that murderer get beat up."
But the funny thing is, though, like, say what you will, I look at him and I just go, it's a good-looking dude. I understand why,
He was.
you put him in films like that, the dude just gets on screen and smiles, and you're just like, oh, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have made a heck of a Terminator.
It would have been interesting to some degree, for sure, just to see what that weird timeline would be like. Why not? So again, now what I love the opening and stuff with the police car with the siren running through with all the credits and stuff. Thankfully, we did that, but at the end of the new Naked Gun movie, which I liked, it was like, oh, let's put this in, but we put it in at the end, and it's just as absurd as the one in the first one, and it's so much fun. And it's like it lays it out for you. What this is the type of movie that you're going to get. It's getting more and more and more absurd, and this is after Airplane, right?
Well,
yes,
this is.
So you got to kind of bring it up just a little another notch right there to just kind of keep things going.
And I could very well be wrong, but I think that gag is something that they imported directly from the 1982 TV show.
Yes,
the Police Squad TV show.
Yes, it is.
But I love it going places where it's not supposed to go, up in people's living rooms. Like, that's when you get into the real fun, where you're like backing up and going in between people's houses and stuff like that. Just so much fun.
I always like, they get on a roller coaster at least once every time they do the gag.
So good.
I think it's also worth mentioning, like, this is kind of a stick your neck out to make this movie, because it was largely considered a failed TV show 6 years ago.
Right.
So, like, not only was it a TV show that didn't do well, but it's one that 6 years ago, in a time where there's not streaming and people didn't really rent TV shows at Blockbuster. So there's not much living memory of Police Squad when this comes out.
I had never seen it until Naked Gun came out. Only after I saw Naked Gun did I go backwards.
I feel like some cable channels started carrying it in syndication or showing, because there's not very many episodes at all.
Yeah, I saw it on Comedy Central.
Yeah, because of the success of the Naked Gun, obviously they brought it back out of the mothballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also one of those things that when you see the show, after you see the movie first, when you see the show, you realize just how many of the jokes from the show they cannibalized and put into the movie. And it's kind of surprising, because basically what the Zuckers are telling you is, look, we know you haven't seen the TV show.
Yes.
And you'll never see the TV show.
Certainly,
so
back
we're just
then,
going to use all those jokes in here. And
I was going to say they're fortunate that no one watched the TV show, because then they would have had to write some new jokes.
Right. And there's been so many think pieces written about why the show didn't work. The lack of laugh track, the fact that a lot of America, when you're not prompted for laughing, that this is where you laugh, because even the characters aren't letting you know this is funny, that for years, it's the reason why there was never a sitcom that was just a one camera show, is because of the Police Squad. I don't believe that, but that is definitely something that was written about for years.
I don't know if I go so far as to give them the credit for that, but the logic still certainly applies.
It does, but I think. Go ahead.
One description I saw was, and I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but it was too sophisticated for dumb people, too dumb for sophisticated people.
Well, because it throws the kitchen. It's the kind of humor where it just throws the kitchen sink at you. And at the time, I don't think America was ready for it. These days, it would be fine. But I think at the time, it was one of those shows where it was like, is this a drama? Is this a comedy? I don't know.
And because you have somebody like Leslie Nielsen, who was often known for just, mostly playing serious roles and things at that point. So, again, it's like that idea. If we had never seen Liam Neeson in anything funny previous to, Naked Gun, we'd seen him in a couple things, which was nice. And we knew that he could, pull it off and whatnot. But they'd just kind of seen Leslie Nielsen as that's the guy in Forbidden Planet.
Well, basically your audience is split into two here, right? Yes, because he's in Airplane, and that's what most young people would know him from.
Sure.
And the older people would know him as a sort of leading man, kind of guy.
Yeah, not quite. He was like that border, like every now and then he would get like, kind of top billing, but he was usually not the top guy.
Right.
It seems like he should always either be a colonel or a scientist.
Right.
Back in those days.
Right. And so, I mean, that's where your audience is split. And I as a young boy, I didn't even know the show was on TV, but if I knew that the guy from Airplane was in a TV show, I would know that it was supposed to be funny. So I also think it was just poorly marketed because I didn't even know there was a police squad.
Did I read, or am I making it up that it was like against Cheers or something like that?
Oh, it might have been.
So it's like,
it seems too early for that, though.
That's what I was thinking.
1982, so it might have been against like Happy Days or something.
Right. It was up against one of the kind of juggernauts of the day, to where it was just like, well, with three choices, that's where everybody's going. Laverne and Shirley, or whatever the hell it was.
Right. Dukes of Hazzard, whatever.
Yeah. Fill in the blank of popular thing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love the starting out in a completely different country. We go here, and all of our world leaders, I never quite thought about this, but how very iconic everyone is.
Yeah.
You know who everyone is immediately.
Yeah.
This big black dude walks in, that's Idi Amin right there. Like, it was like, oh, there's Arafat. Yeah. Oh, there's the Ayatollah. You know every one of them, right? It's so amazing that this many years later, how just iconic and everything everyone was, to where it was almost just like we, designed a character like, that's what that one looks like, and we've known it forever. It's so wild.
It also shows you how pro police and government we were at the time, which kind of threw me back a little bit, because we're in a different place now as a society, where it's kind of like, oh, right, beating all these people up at the time, I remember thinking was very funny.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's just like, oh, this is just propaganda, and I didn't see it as propaganda at the time because it was the 80s. So,
hey, listen, that was just a nice vacation for him. I like that that's where his vacation spot was to just go out to Beirut and start, knocking out world leaders left and right. And of course, with Gorbachev taking the little spot off his head and everything, just classic dumb jokes.
Yeah, this opening is probably the part of the movie I remember the least because, as I said, kind of at the top of the episode, this is a movie I joined in progress a whole lot because it is one of those, as long as you catch it before they get to the baseball stadium, you're going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Apparently Cheers began in 82.
So,
wow, there you go. Maybe
that was the death knell. It was an ABC show, so who knows?
Yeah, you rolling up against Cheers. I mean, like, that show was like popular pretty much all the time, right?
Yes, from the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah, going into all of that sort of stuff, listening to I listened to the Zucker brothers commentary track and everything on the Blu-ray.
Oh, cool.
First of all, they sound fantastic. I don't know when this was recorded, but they sound really great. They sound young and vibrant, and like it's a little bit of a corniness that you would suspect it would probably be, but sometimes there's useful, interesting information in there, and other times it's them kind of gagging, but it's not a gag that makes you like retch because it's a bad gag. You're just like, it's kind of like it's a little bit of an old man just kind of, talking with each other about the old days and stuff like that and joking around. It's tolerable enough, but you do learn some interesting things, and they seem to have had like, a really great time on this.
I got a question for you about it. What is their style when it comes to being voices on a documentary? Are they the kind where they're like, and there he is, the incomparable Scooter McGavin, or whatever, and you've never heard of this person before?
Yeah.
Are they that kind of voice on the over the movie?
No, they're very kind of, it's kind of lively. It just sounds like three buddies kind of like yapping about the movie that they made so many years ago, and they've got some enough. For example, one of the big things is when OJ comes on screen, it's like, ooh, like they're even kind of like, they kind of skirt around exactly what sort of has happened, but like they make enough of a joke of it, but like, they don't let it linger too long and don't make too big of a deal of it. But it's like, it's just enough. It's just enough to where, you'll tolerate listening to it without going completely bananas, I think. but it's good. It was informative, but yet mildly annoying because it's like,
Do they
all right,
spend
boys.
a lot of time laughing at their own gags as they watch the movie.
Not I mean, like a little bit, but not like in the Zoo Radio kind of way.
Oh, good.
They'd have a quick little, like it's like a what I would call just a nice polite enough chuckle, just a little, and then they just kind of move on to the next thing. It's not like no one's holding their chest going, I'm coming to meet you. There's none of that going on.
Okay.
Is there anybody who has anything bad to say about this movie? And I don't mean between the three of us. We all clearly love this movie. We grew up with this movie. But have you ever heard anyone say anything bad about it?
I mean, I've heard at the time, like not now, but at the time, I heard plenty of people say it was stupid, it was dumb, it was corny. There are some people that I think didn't appreciate it for what it was at the time. I think with popular opinion, maybe if folks do still feel that way, they don't share it as loudly as they once did. But there were plenty of people that said this was, there were plenty of people didn't like Airplane. They said it was too
slapsticky.
Yeah, that's the word.
I laughed too many times in the cinema. My face hurt. I do not recommend.
I don't think they appreciate how difficult it is to do slapstick this well.
The reason why I ask is because I wanted to go through the user reviews on IMDb.
Yes.
Yeah.
For this movie, because I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it.
I mean, like when you mentioned it, I was just like, no, I rack my brain to think of anything that anyone has said negative about this movie, and I can't come up with it. But the world is full of dum-dums. What do they got to say?
1 out of 10 stars.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Overrated.
Well,
I can't help but feel that The Naked Gun is wildly overrated in the whole scheme of things. I think the Zuckers have made much better films like Top Secret or even Airplane. I actually love the show Police Squad. Why? But here they turn Drebin into a cartoonish, bumbling fool, not unlike Mr. Bean. First of all, no, you didn't love Police Squad and then hate Naked Gun. That is an out and out lie. And also, they turned the really good, really smart detective Frank Drebin from Police Squad into a bumbling fool in the Naked Gun movie. Get out of here. Okay, here we go. Keep going.
He's Shakespearean.
The plot is almost non-existent and merely is there as a platform for gags. No kidding. That is what these movies are for, you idiot.
Oh, this is not Hamlet, my friend.
Most of the jokes fail miserably, and some just get instant eye rolls with very few landing. There's also an abundance of now very dated pop culture references, further leading to the film feeling dated.
Oh boy.
You don't say. A movie that was made almost 30 years ago.
Almost 40.
There's some outdated comedy in there, you say. Huh. I will say that despite the poor quality of the film, that the actors do an okay job, very charitable of you, an okay job with the material, including Nielsen himself. However, the whole film just doesn't work for me and isn't funny at all, in my opinion. But then again, this is very successful. So what do I know? Boing.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Indeed. What do you know, Mr. One Star?
Don't you love somebody that spends, it took this person at least 12 minutes to 20 minutes to write that, only to wrap it up with, but what do I know? I mean, maybe you save everyone some time, and if that's the confidence you have in your position, keep it to yourself.
I like to think that guy's walking around smoking a cigarette, really trying to pin this one out. Just kind of going,
I know.
Coming back to it.
Fifth draft before he submitted it. He took out the part where he said nowhere near enough male nudity for a film called The Naked Gun.
And he's trying to show his hand that he knows comedy with referencing Mr. Bean. Where it's just like, dude, what made you think that you needed to write this review? Look, if somebody doesn't like something, I totally understand it. Naked Gun isn't for everyone. I totally understand that. But having to go, the world must know my opinion. To whom it may concern, and then to have this be your review.
Wait a minute. Oh, the username is Rowan Atkinson Lover 69. I don't know.
It was written last year.
It's not like it was like 1998 or something like that.
No, it was written last year.
I love the idea that in the year of our Lord 2024, someone decided they needed to chime in on the Naked Gun conversation.
It's just ridiculous, man.
Woke up that morning, poured himself a cup of coffee, and was just like, "Yep, today's the day." They're gonna know.
Mr. Bean reference, I was hoping this was at least 15 years ago.
No, he's keeping it relevant, for heaven's sake. So let's talk about the other kind of cast members here. George Kennedy coming in hot, man.
George Kennedy is the unsung hero of this movie because he has to play it real, right? Because he has to be reacting to the things that Frank is doing. But he also has to have a foot in the world of Police Squad also. Getting shot in the neck, he's got to make the faces and stuff. He's got to fall over. It's also one of my favorite lines where he goes, "Why?" and he faints. It's such a good line read. George Kennedy is great in this movie.
I also think he had the best line of the movie.
Which was?
My father died the same way.
That is a good line.
He actually championed for this. He wanted to do this. He was actually mad that he didn't get to do like Airplane. He wanted to do something like this. He wanted to kind of jump out of the box and like do some comedy stuff like that. This was what he was looking to do.
He was in Police Squad, right?
Yes.
George Kennedy. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but he was asking around. It's just like, hey, I got to do this. Like, let's get a guy who's won an Oscar.
Yeah, jeez. Man.
Because why not?
And he should, because he is great in Cool Hand Luke. He is great in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he plays a tough guy, too. This guy doesn't seem tough.
Oh, really? Ed doesn't seem that tough to you?
No, not really. He seems like he's in the closer to the Ned Beatties of the world than the Warren Beatties.
The one that I have, there's a joke in here that I think you just, if you're too young to remember, I don't know how, you're probably asking yourself, what are they eating? It's when they're on the stakeout and they're eating the red pistachios and they get the red all over their lips and all over their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And because they don't make it with that dye anymore for good reason, there's no reason to have that dye on pistachios. I wonder if you showed that to a kid, would they know what they're eating?
No.
There's no way in heck. No,
right.
There's no way.
Right. I was thinking about that last night, but man, opening the door and all the shells. Come on, man. Piled up against the door.
So many shells. I had to do a double take on that.
You can see his tracks through the shells when he gets out of the car, too. It's really well done.
I mean, even the great sound before you realize what he's doing, as the door has that weight on it where he's trying to push, and you're like, what's going on? And you're hearing this thing. It is just that very, like, all the comedy slices are coming together, like, right at that one time to snapshot it perfect. It's so good.
And yes, this movie is a dumb movie, but it also has really smart little touches. Like the way that Ed's character throws the shells out the window, he throws them out with disdain. Like every time he's done, he's like, and he throws them out. But Frank is more of just like a nonchalant tosser with the shells.
Like I'm littering.
And it's just it's such a great, like, oh, this is like they chose this for their characters moment. These two actors probably had a conversation. How you throwing those shells out the window? It's so good.
Yeah,
I love that little snapshot in this movie.
And
the first date that Frank and Jane go on. I think her name's Jane, right?
Yeah.
Priscilla Presley.
Yeah.
The first date they go on, I remember loving this gag so much as a kid. They play that whole song by Herman's Hermits, or Herman and the Hermits. Is it Herman? It doesn't matter.
Herman's Hermits.
But like if it's not, it's not their song. It's not the original one. This is like a one-off. It's not the original song.
And then, after you see all the various things they do, and then you find out like, oh, this has been a wonderful 3 hours.
Yes.
Is that somehow the feeling that Schaefer was going for in the movie we watched last week with the snowman joke?
Yes.
Like a little inside joke.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is now I see why they maybe wanted to do something like that.
I mean, it's the thing we talked about last week, where there are jokes in the new one that are supposed to elicit you remembering something from the original.
Yeah, the same feeling.
Right.
But without just spitting it at you the entire time, which was, kind of the nice part about it. It's like, oh, enough, but not so much so.
The most famous line from this movie is, "Hey, nice beaver." It's even in the trailers for the movie. So not having that line in the new one, I thought was just a great.
Oh, yeah.
Because that somebody somewhere had that note for them. Well, you got to have the nice beaver line, because corporate loves nothing more than a clean dick joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so to not use that is just it just shows you, oh, these people know what to do. Just having it in the background, the stuffed beaver in the background, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
The montage is great with the song. It's great. And I do love those, again, the joke of we're doing so much stuff and everything. But I believe it or not, like I've had at least 1 or 2 dates that are like that have been like, first dates that are like 8-9 hours, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, that you have done like 58 different things. So it's, it's not an impossibility. But I just, it's as dumb as it is. They do as many things as they can. But I always like that about any movies and stuff like that, where we just do so much stuff where they go, oh, we just did this in a day. No, you didn't. Just the drive alone.
Right.
From point A to point B to point C to point D, that's 45 minutes in the car between each one.
If I do laundry and watch a movie in the same day, I'm proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. You're like, whew, oh, man, what a...
What's a win? One for Team Leslie. Doot.
Speaking of her, though, Priscilla Presley here is our kind of love interest.
Did either of you run across who the original person they approached for this role was?
Bo Derrick.
Yeah, the perfect 10 there, Adam. What do you think of Bo Derrick in this role?
Hey, listen, Bo Derrick, very attractive lady, no doubt about that. I don't know how different it would be. She would be a different energy, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
She doesn't carry the sweetness that Priscilla Presley does. It'd be more femme fatale with Bo Derrick.
Yeah, she has a little bit more. I couldn't see Bo Derrick being pushed around by Ricardo Montalban.
Right.
But I could see Ricardo Montalban pushing around Priscilla Presley for sure.
How old do you think Priscilla Presley is in this film?
She looks remarkably young, but I know she was... Okay, I'm going to say... not based on anything other than just knowing who she is, I'm going to say 43.
I thought 30. I thought 35.
43 exactly.
My word.
Exactly.
I was going to go through my reasoning. She was married to Elvis, but she was also like in middle school when she was married to Elvis, and then Elvis died in 1977. I was just kind of doing the math.
Right. And she's still alive for the new Naked Gun. I mean, she's going to, I was, when she shows up on screen, I was kind of surprised with just how young she looks.
She looks so young and sweet. Yeah. I mean, I did not remember her being such a girl next door, all-American girl kind of thing. Because I remember her from, like, what was the nighttime soap she was on? Dynasty, Falcon Crest, something like that.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
When I first saw this movie in the movie theater, I remember thinking, wow, those two old people are really getting it on. That's great. And now I look at the movie and I'm like, Priscilla Presley is a child in this movie.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that like the 80s like hair and makeup style ages you 20 years automatically. So it's like if she had kind of modern day makeup and everything, yeah, you'd be like, oh, this woman's like 27.
Well, but I mean, I could see through that now when I was a child. When I was a young teen watching The Naked Gun in the movie theater, she seemed like the oldest person in the world to me, and that was the style at the time.
I remember thinking like, yes, that's an attractive older woman, much like Carol Burnett.
Yeah. There's like no there's no sex for a teenager looking at that lady.
Yeah.
Like you don't think like, oh man, I sure would like to get me some of that.
I'd like to think about Elvis marrying her, but Carol Burnett.
Man,
So
Carol Burnett.
Yeah, Elvis marrying Carol Burnett. Wouldn't that be funny?
I'll
That
tell
would
you
be
what,
funny.
man, there would be some shouting coming out of that bedroom.
Man, Tim Conway would have a ball.
And of course, we've got Ricardo Montalban here as our villain and everything. If you need a mustache twirling villain, even if he doesn't have a mustache, Ricardo's going to be twirling it.
It's true. He's also got the world's worst wig on.
What are you talking about? That's not his natural hair. No.
You know, it's funny because I never put this together before, but Ricardo Montalban is basically it's why Star Trek II works so well. Is Ricardo Montalban and Bill Shatner basically have the same amount of ludicrousness to them?
Yeah.
And subtlety.
How is either man subtle, sir?
They have the same amount of subtlety, being absolutely
zero,
none.
being none. And so when he shows up in this, it just makes sense. But I was thinking last night, you could literally replace, and you shouldn't, but you could replace Ricardo Montalban with William Shatner, and you'd lose nothing. It would be the same sort of performance. It would just be more hammy in a totally different way.
Yeah, your rises and falls on things would land different, but your overall performance is going to be not too dissimilar.
Because they're both ludicrous people.
I like the idea that Shatner still goes with the Spanish accent. That would have me.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, he did that whole movie where he spoke Esperanto, so I wouldn't put it past him.
Look, he likes to ride horses.
He do.
They always just bring that up for whatever. It's like, listen, all could be forgiven. The man rides horses. Like, what?
I kind of that's how I threaded that together last night. Just thinking, you know, Ricardo Montalban, he is just a very not real person.
He's interesting.
Yes.
Because he can play a character with genuine menace and a character who's the perfect parody of a character with genuine menace, but it's the exact same performance, and I can't explain it.
Yes.
He's like a context is everything with Montalban.
Yes.
It's so amazing, but he works well at either situation, but it's all about context.
Yes. I also think that there's the thing with him where, you know, Frank puts the pen through the fish, and the pen is priceless. The fish is $20,000, and Montalban finds it in his fish tank, and you can see his thought process, his character's thought process throughout that entire scene, where he's like, how did he goes through the stages. You can see it on his face. And I'm like, you know, that's some good acting from a guy who probably hasn't had to do any real acting in, at that moment, probably 20 years. He's just like, he's on Fantasy Island. This is post Fantasy Island for him, where he's just like, listen, I'm just going to be Ricardo Montalban for the next 10 years because I was on Fantasy Island.
I'm just going to be out here with tan and swarthy and stuff, and that's just going to be who I am, you know?
Exactly. And there is something, the difference between him and Shatner to me is there's something inherently cool about Ricardo Montalban that Bill Shatner doesn't have. I think Shatner was cool when he was young. I don't think there's anything cool about Shatner by the time we hit TJ Hooker.
I think by the time you get to the original Star Trek movie, Shatner is already shut out. I mean,
you think so?
Yeah, I think even in the first Star Trek movie, he has become a parody of himself at that point. Mm-hmm. It's just one guy's opinion. No hate, please.
I'll say
people.
this from the books that I've read and stuff. Like my thought of from Bill's own accounts of his own words and everything. I think he doesn't understand. I just don't think he empathizes with people. I don't think he can put himself in other people's positions. So he does things that just he kind of wants to do, and then I can't understand why these actions might look bad to someone else. He does, for
Right.
whatever reason, that doesn't seem to compute with him. And I don't think it comes, again, from words in his own books. I don't think it comes from a place of meanness. I think it comes from like a defect or something like that.
Right. Like
Yeah,
a personality flaw.
Yeah, it's just a
Like-
flaw that he just can't see how he's sometimes being a jerk to people. And he
Yeah, the
he tells you the jerk
psychological term
things he
for that-
does. He knows he does them. He just doesn't feel bad about them.
The psychological term for that, psychopath or sociopath.
Well, listen, you don't get to be 80 years old and still pumping them out like, old Shatner is and not be having a little bit of something,
Hey, I ain't
going
never
on.
been to space.
Hey, listen, maybe neither is he.
Well, sorta.
Sort of, kind of. We're in, space landish, I guess. Again, another quick thing. I was shocked. I'd totally forgotten about Weird Al showing up and that being a through line.
Mhm.
It was
Weird
just
Al is-
what a
He's
little delight.
timeless. He's a timeless classic. He is going to be one of those folks that is remembered larger as a personality, I think, than as his body of work, just because of how ever present he was in the zeitgeist at a certain time when certain popular things came up.
I also think with him, we're going to, after he passes, which will be way after we die.
Yeah, he's gonna have some sort of like on top of the already like eating healthy and all that kind of stuff. He's probably got some sort of cryogenic chambered thing backed up because he's got the bread to do it.
He do, but he
drugs and alcohol. Yeah,
he's gonna outlive us by 50 years. That guy, but I think that it sure does feel like there's a whole lot of stuff happening behind the scenes with him, where like. You're going to hear all of these stories about how gracious he was, how he helped people's careers, how he, like all of these things. You're going to hear a bunch of stories that he didn't want getting out while he was alive. I fully believe that will happen.
We had
Like
a little bit of that with
positive
OJ
stories,
as well.
Say what?
So we had a little bit of that with OJ as well. Just things that he didn't want getting out there, and then all of a sudden,
I see.
there
Yes.
was just people had access to information that you wish they kind of didn't.
Same hallway, different door. Yes.
but I do think eventually one of these days when Weird Al passes, he's going to be compared to I think he's going to be compared more to people like Mr. Rogers
Right.
and that sort of person than
Yeah.
other musicians.
Yeah, they'll be like Mr. Rogers and like Bill Nye and like those folk,
Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
Pee Wee Herman.
Sold out the Garden. Old Weird Al did.
Nice.
So did Hulk Hogan.
Pretty crazy. Where it's just like,
Sure.
oh yeah, the guy that plays the accordions is selling out MSG. Good
It's
for you.
pretty
Fun.
weird. It's pretty weird that when Hulk Hogan died, there wasn't that outpouring of people saying how great he was behind the scenes. Isn't that weird?
There was a lot of like when I was a kid.
There's a lot of that, and I have one of them. I'm not going to lie. I had a vicious case of Hulkamania growing up.
I mean, you were right there in Connecticut, dude.
It's true.
Yeah, you couldn't escape it.
It's true.
So again, one of the things I just kind of wanted to talk with you guys about, comparison, like again to like the sequel, long awaited sequel that we had last week, is one thing we were impressed about, or at least that I was, is their joke per minute in that thing, and how when we're coming back to this, it really seems like we're kind of just we're just cruising along. We're getting you some jokes, but we're certainly not hammering away at them that fast every single time.
They didn't need to.
No.
Also, they're setting up the template. I mean, that is the thing with Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker, is that this was not a style of movie that existed before they invented it. So you kind of have the grace of, oh, we can set the tone here. Oh, then let's do that, and they do.
And they got 40
It's
years
like
worth of things to go. Hey, we've learned so much in this time. We can obviously apply the new things.
I think also they're trying not to oversalt the popcorn.
Yeah.
A little bit of salt makes you want more. Too much salt makes you want less.
Yeah, let's see. Any kind of a gag that steps out to you that's kind of a favorite?
I think that's what
There's
the listeners want to hear. Some of our favorite gags here.
There's so many.
I'll say this: the thing that I'm always surprised at is the quality of costuming with the condoms.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it could be done so crummily, but it's not. It's like it's just the right kind of thickness. The package that it comes in looks perfect. It's just done so well, and especially like at the time and everything, with everything going around and safe sex becoming a thing, and then this just going way over the top with it. What a fun little and it still gets a little laugh today, I think.
Was that actually Leslie Nielsen and Priscilla Presley inside of those things?
It's tough to tell. He's got a pretty great stunt double at times, where they're not all great. But there are a few stunt doubles that he has where I can't tell if it's him or not.
The baseball stunt doubles, they're at least they got the right kind of height and everything, and the wig matches enough to where it looks good enough, and you put the umpire uniform on them, and all the pieces coalesce enough to where you're like, yeah, buy that, why not?
I'll say my favorite callback in all of comedy is got to be at the end when they pull off the umpire's mask and Francis Buxton from Pee-wee's Big Adventure points and goes, "It's Enrico Palazzo." Because by that point, the first time I'd seen the movie, I had already forgotten that joke, and they call it back, and I still become that young man that I was when I first saw this movie every time that one pops up. I love it. Plus, it's Francis Buxton, of all people, to be calling it out.
No matter how many times I see Naked Gun, I will never not be surprised that it's Mark Holton who says that line, man. Every single time. I'm like, oh, how did they get Mark Holton to do this one line? And it's perfect.
I always forget that we go through 7 innings worth of baseball where he's the umpire. It's just like, that's such an insane amount of time.
Playing Randy Newman, which I don't know. It's just, I sometimes forgot that they actually had Randy Newman and not just to sound alike during all that.
Right. Which they could have done.
Easily could have done. So much fun in that baseball game. Reggie Jackson, when he's getting ready to kill the Queen, made me think of my favorite headline. The Queen died, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
So now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a head that the Queen is dead. Reggie Jackson wanted for questioning. And they just left it at that.
Perfect.
This just hit with so much impact because, come on, how many times did Reggie Jackson get asked, I'm sure when he's out signing baseball cards, could you say kill the Queen for me?
But here's
it helps that the biggest star. It also helps that the biggest star at all of sports at the time kind of looked like a junior high social studies teacher too. I think that helped out.
I would say to you that Reggie Jackson isn't even the biggest name in baseball at the time that they made this movie, but I grew up hating with a blinding passion, hating Reggie Jackson because he was a Yankee. I knew him as a Yankee. I was too young to know him as an Oakland A. He was just a Red Sox killer every single year. And I just hated him. I hated him so much. And then everything changes on a dime when he shows up in this movie. Like, I hated him even when he played for the Angels. And then he showed up in this movie, and I was like, all right, Reggie.
I think more sports stars need to be under some sort of hypnosis brain power or whatever when they're in movies, because most of them can't act. So if you turn them into brainless zombies that just say kill the Queen, you just kind of go, what a thespian.
But he gave it his all with the
robot,
with his robot movements and stuff. I was like, good on you, Reggie.
He does so well. Do you know how Reggie Jackson wound up getting this, being the baseball player selected for the Kill the Queen Mansion?
I have no idea.
Well, originally they were the Dodgers. This is a movie set in Los Angeles. They want the Dodgers to be the baseball team. Sure. They're actually in Dodger Stadium. They're not out in Anaheim where the Angels were playing at the time. Yeah, they're in Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers said you could use the stadium, but we don't want you to use our team because there's an on-field fight, and they don't want to endorse fighting on the field. But the Angels, of course, were happy to do that. So then they end up, well, who's the Angel that you're going to put in the movie? It's going to be Reggie Jackson. He's in the twilight of his career, but he's still a big name, and he's got a lot of charisma. At a time when maybe they were thinking he's going to transition to being an actor, much like his buddy OJ there from Southern California.
Sure.
But I don't know if he was really buddies with OJ. Don't quote me on that. But I wonder who they would have picked from the Dodgers. Like you have Fernando Valenzuela trying to kill the Queen.
Not in 1980. What is this? 88? 1980. Yeah, he's off of the Dodgers at that point. It's probably going to be Steve Garvey, who's probably the most beloved Dodger at that point. Boy, we are. I think he. I am going.
He was with the Padres in '88. This is baseball talk, guys.
You're right.
He was with the Padres in '88.
And my favorite baseball person is in this, Dr. Joyce Brothers. I love that bit.
If you've got Mel Allen in your movie and he doesn't say, "How about that?" then you are doing it wrong. And damn it, the Zucker brothers knew that. And he's the only one who says his catchphrase, because like all of the other sports announcers, they all have catchphrases. It's just no one cares.
Like Vitale doesn't have a line, none of them do.
Did you go to many baseball games as a kid, Sean?
I went to a few. I didn't go to a ton.
I used to love rain delays because you would get like these baseball clips with Mel Allen's voiceover up on the Jumbotron.
Right.
So I always look forward to that. They even had like nice homage to 80s baseball with the Jumbotron showing all the clips and the stuff that they actually used to do. Yeah. I don't think they still do that kind of thing.
They do not. They do not.
Boy, it brought back some nostalgia, just the baseball game stuff.
I think that's one of the reasons why I love the third act of this movie so much is it just stinks of my childhood. And yes, it is still the best third act in a comedy that I can think of. I can't think of another one where the third act of the comedy is the best part of the movie. And to this day, for me, this is the best.
They finally get rolling. They start the gags start coming faster and more quick. We're having costume changes and knocking characters out and, replacing other ones and, some mistaken identity stuff going on. So they really start ramping up the pace and everything that's going on in that moment. So you really are barreling towards the end with just a lot of humor and a lot of stuff going on. So like you said, this is how you should be doing a third act and certainly comedies.
And I would say 85% of your fond memories of almost anyone who's a fan of this movie are all from that third act. Yeah. Once it shows up once they show the baseball stadium on screen, buckle your belt because you're not, I hope you went to pee before now because you're holding it till the end of this movie.
I mean, in a 30-second span, you've got the gay panic. Because the first thing that happens is that he claims to be the guy who's going to take Enrico Palazzo.
Yeah,
out to the stadium. He's the usher.
Yeah,
and then there's that. Then you've got is this a regulation size bat hit the guy in the head? Then there's the gay like drive-by gay panic of he's bent over, Frank's messing with a zipper, like that whole thing.
At least I'll say this. Looking back, at least it's as good as you could hope to be without being wildly offensive because the guy at least just goes, "Oh, sorry, fellas," and then just left.
Sorry, fellas.
Didn't make a big deal of it.
Slowly walks
Didn't
out.
really have there wasn't no slurs were thrown or anything. It was just like, "Oh, sorry, boys, gotta get out of here."
I agree. That is the best way that could have gone at the time. I agree.
Not as satisfying as the gorilla sex assault that we saw in certain places, but it's close.
Right, it is.
Not nearly as good. No,
it's also a drive-by, whereas the gorilla sexual assault is like 5 minutes. It's all set up. Speaking of setups, I didn't realize until this new viewing how well they set up Frank peeing in the bathroom. Where not only is he having a problem with his microphone, he literally changes wireless mics with someone else so that he can speak into a microphone, setting it up to let even the layest of laymen know that this is how this thing works. Like you might not even know that there's such thing as a wireless microphone, but they teach you what it is in that scene, setting it up, and then he goes to the bathroom. Which, my God,
they mention it in the audio commentary about how they were very specific of just going hey, do you think we pointed this out enough times for you to because they really were we had to hammer it home for people. This is how all of this stuff works.
Yes, because people in 1988 don't know how a wireless mic works.
No.
It also seems set up so clearly that it feels like a true story being told on screen. Like something, this is an exaggerated version of something that really happened.
Oh no, they mentioned that they took it from a real thing.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yeah, they took it from real. Maybe I remember it wrong, but I want to say that they heard a rabbi do it or something like that. Somebody that was wearing a wireless microphone, went to the John and was kind of just like, whoa, and it's not a good time. Now, the fun part is later on, many years later, the Simpsons would kind of redo this joke with Homer wearing a virtual reality suit. So kind of basically does sort of the same joke where he goes off and, wears the little thing, goes around and waves at the audience, the little animated character waves. All right, bye, everybody. And then the animated character kind of walks off screen. But, of course, then the animated character starts taking a leak and just, all that kind of jazz that's in this. But, through VR as well. So, see, Simpsons always didn't come up with it for the first time every time.
First time ever.
Sometimes they do be stealing or homaging, at least. Let's put it to you that way. Let's be nice about it.
There's some nice little touches here too. Like there's stuff they didn't have to do, stuff that people missed. But if you didn't miss it, it's great because when they have the big bench clearing brawl in the middle of the field, there's just like this random AVR. Kick him in the nuts. It just kind of comes through there. And it always seems like extra funny to me because it's like so unnecessary, but so beautiful.
That is one of the things that I want to talk about is that they know so little about the character of Frank Drebin, like the people who make this movie, that when you go into Frank Drebin's apartment, it is insane what's in there. He's got a beer stein collection on a wall. There's like post Civil War photographs that are framed that are just on a wall somewhere. And it's clear that like we have no idea what the internal life of this person is. So we're just going to fill it with junk.
Put crap in here.
It is bananas, man. Like even the furniture that's in there, you're just like, did someone just give him this furniture? Like what none of it matches. It's crazy.
They're trying to make him out to be an everyman.
But it's not that. Like and every man would be like blah furniture that you just look past. You don't look past.
They want to appeal to the people who like brown chairs as much as the ones who like purple ones.
You just don't you don't look past the stuff. At least I don't. You don't look past the stuff in his apartment where like it's not telling a story, but it's also like it makes you want to look at it. It's so strange. And it's because they didn't have any idea who this character was because no one could tell them who Frank Drebin's internal life is. They couldn't say it. And so the art department was just like, well, I guess we'll just find a bunch of stuff at a thrift shop.
Throw everything against the wall, see what sticks.
It's crazy. His apartment is crazy, man.
I love the chunky milk. Always gets a just
the old Chinese food.
Absolutely gross.
I also have a joke I don't understand. There's a joke in this movie I don't understand. So they're flirting back and forth, Priscilla and Leslie, or Frank and Jane are flirting back and forth. And he looks down and he goes, "Oh, that's a honey of a ankle bracelet you got there." And she goes, "Oh, that fell." And she goes to put it back on where it's supposed to be on her body. I don't get what that is supposed to be then, if it's not supposed to be an anklet.
That I'm not 100% sure, but I will say this. So you've got kind of a conundrum on your hands here because it's two things, actually. The first thing, the ankle bracelet is actually a reference to Double Indemnity. So that's an actual reference there.
I see.
Where it then comes, the other bit, I couldn't tell you where the second half doesn't make sense to me, but the first half is a Double Indemnity reference.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how the second. I thought maybe she's wearing as like a garter belt or something, maybe, or what do you call it?
I assumed is it's supposed to say she does kinky things like wear bracelets on her thigh.
I don't know.
But you wouldn't wear a bracelet on your thigh.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. We're not.
I've never seen what's above a girl's knee before. I don't know.
Yeah, they tend not to allow me around that area too often, so I've only heard bits and rumors.
My research tells me they got teeth down there.
I have seen that movie.
It's treacherous. But yeah, overall though, it was one of those things where this movie just kind of feels like, putting on that warm blanket. You know what's coming, but you're happy to see all of it. It is kind of like hanging out with friends again, It's just like, oh, let's hang out with these dumb cops and whatnot. And again, I love the, any time a character can continually be hurt is fantastic. So OJ just can, being smashed up at the beginning. Oh, he's perfectly fine now. We smash him up yet again at the end. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love when we just kind of throw characters down a flight of stairs for no good reason other than just a chuckle.
This is a movie that's immensely rewatchable.
All right, so let's see if we had to recast any of this. Anybody got any replacements for any of our cast members here?
I think it's safe to say not a lot of people will push back if I wanted to replace OJ Simpson. So you put Bill Cosby in instead.
Oh, perfect.
Well, listen, at the time, who else are you going to really flip him out with?
He was great in I Spy.
Yeah, he hasn't gone down the tubes just yet, just that we know of.
Have either of you guys actually ever watched that show?
Mm-mm.
I watched it once at my granny's house. Big surprise there.
Is it something where it feels cool when you're watching it? I've never watched it.
No, it feels awful.
Does it?
And it feels so weird because Bill Cosby plays his character totally straight, like 100% straight, and it just feels unsettling.
Huh.
At least it felt unsettling to me when I was like 12. Matthew says it's pretty good though, so maybe I should go recheck it out. But when I watched it as a youngster, I did not see any appeal.
I don't care for it. A young Bruce Leslie. All right, well, let's all come down to this. We got to give our star grades and recommendations for The Naked Gun from the Files of the Police Squad from 1988. Bruce, what do you got?
I'm going to say 5 stars. We do a 5-star scale.
Yeah.
This is a 5-star comedy. You can watch this 3 times in the same week and it holds up. I mean, this is done just right. It's something that's going to appeal to people of all levels of sophistication. It's got something for everybody in there. It is just funny. I love the dry delivery. It's peak Zuckers. I think this is much better than Airplane, which it really is kind of a 2-dog fight when you're talking about those guys. I love this movie.
Sean?
I don't listen to me. This is all wrapped up in my I saw this at the perfect age, at the perfect time. Like it was just one of those movies where it was like I've seen it a million times. Nothing makes me laugh about it anymore because I've seen it so often and I don't care. I'll still watch it. Don't listen to me. It's 5 stars though. Like this is one of those movies where it's just like, you can't make this better. This is literally it. Like this is the only thing. You know what I do remember? I do have a recollection that when I was seeing the movie with this girl, when Pap Smear shows up, I didn't know what that meant, right? Because I'm a 15-year-old boy at the time. I have no idea. She starts dying laughing. And I was like, what does that mean? And she goes, I'll tell you later. And it was one of those moments where I was like, how does she know something I don't know? Like that kind of thing. Because not only was I a dumb kid, I was a dumb kid that thought I was a smart kid. And so I will never forget that. It's 5 stars.
5 stars. I'm going to be the rational one. No. I do love this movie. I think it's really great. Like I said, it's one of those all-time classics that I would imagine that most folks have watched 1.5 million times. And like Sean said, sometimes you're not guffawing with laughter and stuff, but there is, especially as like comedians and stuff like that, people that have kind of done the same jokes a billion times, but still can find something funny but yet you may not just be, laughing on the outside. It's kind of like, oh, that's good. That's, when you're hanging out with your buddies and stuff and, they give them something. It's like, no, it's all right. That's what this movie is like sometimes. You're like, it's good enough, but I'm not like slapping my knees super hard. But you cannot not respect everything that it's doing and the path that it laid out for everything. I'm going to a very solid 4 out of 5, which again is a very, very high recommendation. So I don't know anybody can poo-poo that. Stop judging me.
Too late.
Yeah, listen, it's not going to be the first, and it's certainly not going to be the last. We all know that much. Well, that is it, everybody. We got another Naked Gun movie under our belts, but we got another one coming yet again. Next week, we are checking out Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear.
Smell of Fear. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I knew I'd have to scroll to the end to look at my script, but I did indeed write it down. So it's just like, what is that called? It's not one that kind of sticks with you. The final insult's a good one, but
I have zero recollection of the sequel, so it's going to be like watching them for the first time for me.
The sequel has my favorite line in any Naked Gun movie. I'm not going to say it now. I'll save it for next week.
Good deal. I'm kind of the same way, Bruce. If indeed I have watched any of these, it's been so long that I can't remember. So it is going to be like a whole, brand new thing for me and everything.
It is diminishing returns. Make no mistake about it.
What?
But there is that really great line in the second one.
And we'll discuss all of those very, very fun things next week. Until the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
People, why don't you go over to the Gram? Go onto the Gram and check out WR Collects. If you go to WR Collects on Instagram, you're going to see some of the best action figure photography you've ever seen. Ooh. So go check out WR Collects on Instagram.
There you go. Sweet chance.
There's this weird thing that's been happening to me lately on social media where people are like, oh, hey, you're back. And I'm like, back from what? I haven't gone anywhere. Like, what are you talking about? I'm back. And it keeps happening. Do you know why that might be happening?
You're like John Wick.
I don't understand it. Like it keeps happening where they're like, oh, hey, you've been hiding for so. I'm like, what do you mean I've been hiding? I don't think we'd seen things from you, or at least the feed hadn't been feeding out stuff from you forever and a day. I would imagine that, you was never there, so people didn't see nothing.
I kind of get where they're coming from.
I don't think that there's I'm not saying that they don't think that you have not existed.
You just went silent for a couple of years.
Yes, I definitely did that for
sure.
Yeah,
you turned on the beacon and was just like, we're turning off that thing so no one else can go. We're running silent right now.
That is
going
true.
Through that water.
Okay. Well, you can reach me. You can reach me on through our email with the podcast if you want to talk to me, or try to look me up on social media. Good luck.
Or leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Say stuff. Or I've even collected. We've even linked up to Sean Scoots over there on the YouTube. And everything.
Right.
So click that in the show notes there, everybody. So you can do all that, and find all the other social media stuff from my TikTok to the HMP Instagram and all that kind of good stuff. All those fun things are there.
I've got so many videos that I've shot for that thing, and I just don't have any time. I'm
telling you, this AI editor can do all the work for you. He's just like, make this entertaining.
If you do everything that has to happen in order for me to be sitting here, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Something. Well, that will do it for this episode of Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Join us next week when we're talking Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. For Sweet Sean's and Kovacs from the internet, Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Portress, reminding you to get out there and watch the movies, you dirty babies.
We're